question from Elvis.
Yes,
Elvis talked about the misuse of networking and corruption in that process. Where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line between lobbying, name dropping, and misusing or abusing the platform for personal gains in a wrong way? Because I do not want to view it as corruption, because this corruption word is actually used incorrectly at times. You know, it's easy to just talk about, say, corruption, because I mean misusing and name dropping, misusing a networking platform incorrectly, so would not amount to corruption, but instead it would constitute the abuse or misuse of the platform. If I get you correctly, because your question is somehow ambiguous in a sense, because if you name drop a person, because a platform, a networking platform is between individuals. In this case, it's in the form of business and political leaders who are trying to get a buy-in so that they shape policy and they shape programs of the country. So in these platforms that is created by the two, they get to come in and tell of their fears and iron out all issues that may hinder their progress moving into the future. So I will leave it at that, because any person who is lobbying or who is networking, if a person misuse or abuse or name drop your name incorrectly, so there are means of finding that out and actually setting the record straight. But I would move to the issues of the bills that he has spoken about, the protection of state information and the bill on, that's the labor amendment bill. There's no bill on labor brokering, and there is nothing in our archives in the books that talks about labor broking in that bill, in the labor relations amendment bill. The protection of state information bill, I would say much of our bills are very progressive and they have the public buy-in, and fears or uncertainties are laid, because in a process of a bill, you have all political parties who are represented in Parliament who takes part in the process of crafting that piece of legislation. But what I see is that those bills or the issues that might be of contestation within the bill, advocacy campaigns is not done extensively so that people are put at ease. Because no country wants to open its floodgates to even secure information or sensitive information to be out there. That is why this bill is not called the secrecy bill, it's called the protection of state information. There are certain information that needs to be protected. You cannot just say everybody must have information around the country, because it puts the country at risk. You can go to America. There was a certain person who went to get asylum in Russia, a young fellow who was caught up in state information and all what have you. I just have forgotten his name. Snowden. His name is Snowden. Yes. You see how America went for him. He was caught up he was stuck in the airport in Russia for so many months trying to get asylum in Russia. This is how serious other countries are around people who actually go out and they misuse and they take out state information. Now, South Africans, as free as we are, as liberated as we are, as people who would call us, we are a constitutional democracy. The constitution becomes the supreme law of the country. We want to expose ourselves. We want to let other people to come in and get whatever information around the country, put the country at risk and leave. And the only thing that we make noise around in that legislation is the whistleblowing, which was actually looked into, and those fears were laid. Both houses, the NCOP and the National Assembly, actually found a way on how to deal with somebody that wants to blow the whistle, how those people can be protected, and so on and so forth. But this bill is the protection of state information. Let us treat it as such and understand that we as a country cannot just open ourselves for any person to come in and take information and put us at risk.